Good morning, everybody. How are you? Happy Thursday. Good to see you all. Mr. Mining King up and early. Damn, up and at him early, rather. Good to see you, buddy. Ergo is going to be the next mining pool on the Mining King. Is it .uk? God, I'm the worst friend ever. Mining King, pop that in the chat for me, and I'll pin it at the top, please. Chris Hanley, good morning. AC Mining, let's see who else is here. Carl Coe, we have Steven Cicero. Let's see, Leo Lustig, good to see you, buddy. Financial Failure, Duke Nukem, Sloth Squatch, Dumpster Fire, my man, good to see you. Hopefully you're enjoying that hash rate. And John Z. Everybody else, I apologize if I missed you, but we're running a bit behind, so I need to get this thing going. All right, so Coinbase, if you guys didn't know, Brian Armstrong kind of responded, but like it was kind of with CNBC, just sat down and kind of talked with them about the whole situation. So I thought it was kind of neat. Came out yesterday. A lot of you guys may have seen it, may have not, but we're gonna watch that. And then Altcoin Daily had a video where he kind of puts everything together. I didn't get to watch that yet, so I kind of am intrigued a little bit to watch that. But let's see how the market's doing today. We have Bitcoin at 26,448, Ethereum 1845, Dogecoin is at 6 cents, just under 7, XRP 51, LTC is at 88. Man, that like bounces between 88 and say 92. It's been just doing that the last couple days. Crypto bubbles over here. Let's see, the past week, nothing is really green. Really? Except for this 19% Terra Classic. What? And FTT? What is happening? You know shit's bad when Luna and FTT is pumping because of Mr. Gensler. Oh my god, I blame him 100%. All right, before I blind you guys, let's see. Fear and Greed Index 50, neutral, same thing, nothing's changed. All right, top 10 coins by market cap: Bitcoin, Ethereum, Tether, BNB, USD Coin, XRP, Lido, Staked Ether, Cardano, Dogecoin, and Solana. Litecoin still in 13th. We have Polygon in 11th, and Tron is in 12th. Nothing's really changed here either. So let's see. Game with Smokey Dan said, was a late one last night with D4 leveling. I didn't sleep until 6 a.m. No, you did not. You were up until 6 a.m. That's terrible. What are you doing? What are you doing to yourself? I gotta turn on my chat box and stuff. Actually, I forgot. All right, without further ado, let's get into this. I want to actually listen to this because I glanced over it yesterday. I didn't get to like fully listen to it. So this is CNBC over here talking to Brian Armstrong about the SEC filing to sue them for their unregistered securities and all this bullshit. So let's see what they got to say here.
Yesterday, the SEC suing crypto exchange Coinbase in New York federal court. The agency alleging Coinbase was operated as an unregistered exchange and broker. Joining us right now, first on CNBC, is Coinbase's CEO, Brian Armstrong. Good morning to you. We've been debating this at the table for really the last 3 hours, frankly, already. But we're glad to have you at the table.
Is that a Tesla coil right there holding up that table?
To join in on this discussion. Help us understand from your perspective, when you first saw this lawsuit, what your reaction was, and to the extent that you have a defense, and I know you've taken to Twitter, but now you can take to the airwaves, what it is.
Yeah, I mean, we were disappointed to see this complaint from the SEC because I feel like we've had a long history of being very transparent with them and really every regulator around the world that we've worked with. So even going back to 2021 when we became a public company, before becoming a public company, you have to disclose everything about your business in depth. There was many back and forth revisions of our S1. And frankly, they had all the knowledge then, and they allowed us to become a public company. And then we're going through time, and Chair Gensler has statements to Congress saying that he doesn't feel he has the authority to regulate this industry, and we're seeing conflicting statements from the CFTC and the SEC chair, and we even filed a formal petition with the SEC asking them for clarity about a number of points in the law, which they never responded to. And then
wait, what? I thought they responded. They said no. I mean, at least in articles, it could have been hearsay, I guess. But I swear they said no.
This Wells notice and a complaint arrives. And so this isn't good for America. It's not good for the industry, obviously. And we now need to go get clarity from the courts.
I want to show you, Chair Gensler was on CNBC yesterday. I want to show you a clip and get you to react if I could. Take a look at this.
Oh, yeah. Look at this guy's eye. That just threw me off so hard. He looks like he has two pupils. That's weird. The bottom of his eye's black. All right. Sorry, squirrel.
In the Coinbase complaint, we note that they have, through the Coinbase wallet, you can trade 16,000 different tokens. And there's a lot of debate as to the use cases and whether there's any there. Look, we don't need more digital currency. We already have digital currency. It's called the US dollar. It's called the euro.
It's called the US dollar. That's digital currency. What? He's an idiot. He has no idea what he's talking about ever.
The yen. They're all digital right now. We already have digital investments. And you have entrepreneurs representing digital investments on this program all day long. And it's whether it's the big tech companies, the automobile companies, you name it. It's all digital right now, the investing world. So what is the real underlying value of these tokens? And that's why you need full, fair, and truthful disclosures.
Do you think this is about disclosures, or do you think this is about the underlying currencies that are on your exchange?
It's tough to know exactly what he means by that. I mean, our self-custodial wallet...
Let's be real. He doesn't even know what he means by what he just said.
Is not trading crypto, the ones that he mentioned some huge number. That's happening in DeFi. That's not something that we actually operate the trading of. Our centralized exchange is really trading a much smaller number of assets. We've reviewed over 1,000 assets in crypto. We rejected 90% of them because we felt they weren't appropriate for our exchange. And about 200 of them are listed on our centralized product. And I don't know, to his point about, what's the there,
right.
People are using crypto for all kinds of things. They're not just trading, and they're doing payments with it. Ukraine raised $200 million, and presidential candidates are taking it. And it's a new technology that can be used to update all kinds of financial services. And we don't need the government picking and choosing our technology winners. Let's let the market decide that.
When you spoke just earlier about the IPO and the IPO process and the back and forth that you had with the SEC, I think implicit within what you were saying was that they approved us as a business. And yet the prospectus itself, as you know, also says very clearly that effectively the SEC has not opined on the underlying business itself. And in fact, that the company can't actually legally say publicly that the SEC has. Do you agree with that?
Well, they allowed us to become a public company understanding the S1, right? And so I feel like that's
the thing I don't understand. They had to register and explain everything about their business to be able to get listed, right, as like a public company. I don't know where the confusion is. It makes no sense.
Our moment to be totally transparent with them, show them everything about our business and how it operates. And so it's not great to have a regulator sort of come back later and say, actually, we changed our mind. Well, this is already
Brian, they didn't
company.
change their mind. We had John Stark, the former SEC Office of Internet Enforcement Chief for 11 years. He was on earlier. He said it's very specific that in the IPO, the SEC does not approve these things. And it says very specifically they could come back and say that there is additional regulation that's required, or additional disclosures, or additional...
Look at Brian's face. Is like, shut up, bitch. This is terrible. I didn't want you to talk. I was in the middle of a sentence.
filings. And I think what they're very specific about is you call yourself an exchange, you call yourself a broker-dealer when it comes to prime. Those are things that you need to register for if you're going to be, either an exchange or a broker-dealer, just like the NASDAQ or the NYSE would have to.
But in reality, that's pretty interesting. I didn't know that they could they stated that inside their packet, if you would.
Well, so a couple points. One is that if you're trading commodities, that doesn't necessarily apply, right? We have actually gone out there and acquired a broker-dealer license because we wanted the ability to trade crypto securities. There's actually, I think there could be a big, robust market of crypto securities trading in the U.S., even though we don't list any securities today. And by the way, I think you're right. The regulator does have the right to come, edit their thinking at times and come back and say, here's a new set of rules. And great, we'd be happy to follow those. The issue in this case is that we're getting conflicting statements from the CFTC head and the SEC head.
Facts.
And then the statements from the SEC are so, such an outlier. They're saying everything other than Bitcoin is a security. Well, that's not our interpretation of the law. That's not what the law says. And that's not what the position of every other country around the world, their financial regulators, is taking. And so I don't think we really had a choice, honestly. We had to go to court to really see if otherwise this industry is just not going to exist in the United States if we took that position.
Warning there could be additional regulation is one thing, but bringing enforcement action on something you knew full well at the time was occurring, that I don't see how all of a sudden you make that leap. That just seems arbitrary and capricious and vindictive almost.
That is a regulation by enforcement approach. And, we met with the SEC 30 times in the last year. they never gave us a single piece of feedback about what we could be doing better. We just got silence. And when we asked them, how would you like us to register? You know, we have this dormant broker-dealer license. Could we activate that? We really got silence. And so it's not appropriate for the regulator to come back and do an enforcement action if we don't have a clear rule book and clear guidance.
Sorry, I'm just reading you guys in the chat. You guys are hysterical. Brian Armstrong, whether you like him, you don't like him, he's a very good speaker. He had the balls to go on without his attorney and just sit there and just kind of give his 2 cents on the whole situation. So props to him for actually like getting on the news and doing that. But man, I don't know. It is kind of messed up for them to be like, okay, yeah, this is cool. You can come out as a public company, but now we're gonna change the rules on you, later on. Mining King, thanks for the $2.
Time for dinosaurs to retire.
Time for the dinosaurs to retire. I agree. I absolutely agree. Yeah, it's too much. Anyways, let's go over to Altcoin Daily. So I'm sure he's going to take clips from that CNBC news thing, as you can see right here. But I think he breaks it down a little bit further. So I want to see what he has to say about this whole thing. And we will pause and talk about it in between. So if you have any questions, add me in the chat.
Look, we don't need more digital currency. We already have digital currency. It's called the US dollar. It's called...
I don't understand that statement. I don't even think he definitely didn't even understand that statement.
The euro. It's called the yen. They're all digital right now.
Something very strange is happening in crypto today. Gary Gensler just revealed his true motives on CNBC today. He makes it clear he's trying to take down the crypto industry as a whole, not just protect investors.
Look, we as an agency are meant to be merit neutral, Jim. There's a lot of question. There's 10 to 20,000 tokens. Actually, in the Coinbase complaint, we note that they have, through the Coinbase wallet, you can trade 16,000 different tokens. And there's a lot of debate as to the use cases and whether there's any there.
And why is Gary Gensler attempting to freeze assets on Binance US?
Mr. Chairman, a lot of it is hard to For instance, in the Binance complaint, you say, Mr. Chairman, I need to know this. The SEC's Binance complaint also seeks emergency relief, like an asset freeze, expedited discovery, and even the appointment of a receiver. Are there more pleadings coming? Because if you do this, that's the end of Binance.
Look, we have concerns.
The SEC trying to freeze Binance US's assets feels like they're almost trying to orchestrate a run on reserves. Steady, lads, deploying more investor protection. And to be clear, if Binance truly has reserves backed one-to-one, then a bank run shouldn't be a problem. Just speculating that I think there's a pretty good likelihood this is the SEC trying to find out if that's the case. But then what about Coinbase, the most compliant? Why did the SEC let Coinbase go public if they were not up to the SEC rules?
Even going back to 2021, when we became a public company, before becoming a public company, you have to disclose everything about your business in depth. There was many back and forth revisions of our S1. And frankly, they had all the knowledge then, and they allowed us to become a public company.
And just like that, the SEC's trap may have been set. Because understand, the SEC allowing any company to go public is not the SEC approving a company. There's a difference between allowing and approving.
When you spoke just earlier about the IPO and the IPO process and the back and forth that you had with the SEC, I think implicit within what you were saying was that they approved us as a business. And yet the prospectus itself, as you know, also says very clearly that effectively the SEC has not opined on the underlying business itself. And in fact, that the company can't actually legally say publicly that the SEC has. Do you agree with that?
Well, they allowed us to become a public company understanding the S1, right? And so I feel like that's our moment to be totally transparent with them, show them everything about our business and how it operates. And so it's not great to have a regulator sort of come back later and say, actually, we changed our mind. This is already
Brian, they didn't
company.
change their mind. We had John Stark, the former SEC officer.
Let his face right there when she cuts him off. He's like, you're dead.
Internet Enforcement Chief for 11 years. He was on earlier. He said it's very specific that in the IPO, the SEC does not approve these things. And it says very specifically they could come back and say that there is additional regulation that's required or additional.
I hope he shows that IPO in this video.
Disclosures or additional filings. And I think what they're very specific about is you call yourself an exchange, you call yourself a broker-dealer when it comes to prime. Those are things that you need to register for if you're going to be, either an exchange or a broker-dealer, just like the NASDAQ or the NYSE would have to.
And that's exactly where we stand.
A couple points. One is that if you're trading commodities, that doesn't necessarily apply, right? We have actually gone out there and acquired a broker-dealer license because we wanted the ability to trade crypto securities. There's actually, I think there could be a big, robust market of crypto securities trading in the US, even though we don't list any securities today. And by the way, I think you're right. The regulator does have the right to come, edit their thinking at times and come back and say, here's a new set of rules. And great, we'd be happy to follow those.
Thank you, Matt K, for the $2 super chat.
If the SEC is the gatekeeper, allowing equals approving.
Yeah, that's true. Very true. Appreciate the super chat. Thanks, buddy.
The issue in this case is that we're getting conflicting statements from the CFTC head and the SEC head. And then the statements from the SEC are so, such an outlier. They're saying everything other than Bitcoin is a security. Well, that's not our interpretation of the law. That's not what the law says. And that's not what the position of every other country around the world, their financial regulators, is taking. And so I don't think we really had a choice, honestly. We had to go to court to really see if otherwise this industry is just not going to exist in the United States.
Well, yesterday, when Gary Gensler said, we don't need more digital currency, remember, Fed Now launches next month. The fix is in, and the deck is rigged. This has always been the plan.
Look, I'm not going to go into any one set of conversations between the agency and a company, but we've had discussions with literally dozens of crypto incumbents, including the ones that you just mentioned. And what we find is this is a field that's built, the whole business model is built on non-compliance with the U.S. securities laws. And we're asking them to come into compliance, and they're going a bit of catch us if you can.
No.
Thank you very much for the $5 super chat, Chad Wicks. Let's see.
Change their mind, then change the rules, then don't tell you what the rules are. You. Lol.
F you. Appreciate it, buddy. Thank you. Yeah, no, it's kind of nuts. Do you guys think, like, honestly, right? Just let me know what you think in the chat. Do you think that Gary is just, I guess, the puppet here? I mean, he's a boob. Don't get me wrong. But, like, do you guys think he's being forced to say shit that, like, maybe he doesn't even want to say because higher ups? Like, I feel like he's, like, terrified right here when I'm just looking into his eyes. Like, he seems like scared of something, and it's weird, right? Or it's either that or he's just talking out of his ass 100%. I mean, that's probably the point, but whatever. I feel like he might be being forced to say certain things, but I don't know. It's kind of weird.
No, Gary Gensler, because Coinbase wants to comply.
That is a regulation by enforcement approach. And, we met with the SEC 30 times in the last year. They never gave us a single piece of feedback about what we could be doing better. We just got silence. And when we asked them, how would you like us to register? We have this dormant broker-dealer license. Could we activate that? We really got silence. And so it's not appropriate for the regulator to come back and do an enforcement action if we don't have a clear rule book.
And what this has all been building towards, Fed Now launching next month, think of this in basic terms like a digital dollar, like a Bitcoin, only not decentralized, totally permissioned, with zero privacy, and 100% manipulated by the regulators.
Oh, US. Exactly what they want.
The launch of the FedNow service, which is slated for July of this year, could have monumental impacts on US payments. And some features of this is a clear improvement from the archaic SWIFT system we have today. The FedNow service will facilitate faster payments via instant, irrevocable transaction settlement, making funds available to the payee in near real time. Additionally, its core clearing and settlement features are available 24/7, 365. And the FedNow service will be introduced in phases with new features and enhancements released over time. It will utilize the ISO 20022 standard and only cover domestic payments to start. So notice how they take out the old guard and put in the new. The promotion of CBDCs has begun, not just in America, Not surprisingly, a country famous for freezing protesters' bank accounts is leading the way.
Here at the Bank of Canada, we're exploring the possibility of issuing a digital version of cash. Not to replace cash, but to ensure Canadians always have access to a safe, stable, and official payment option in an increasingly digital world. You may be thinking, I don't need a digital Canadian dollar right now, and you'd be right. But Canadians may need one in the future. So the bank has to be ready if and when Parliament makes that decision.
And just in, as of this morning, the U.S. District Court has issued a summons for Binance CEO Changpeng Zhao over SEC action. And according to the summons, CZ's current residential address is in the Mediterranean island nation of Malta. I've personally heard he may be in Dubai, maybe he's in Malta. Truly, nobody knows. But looking at the summons, it does not appear that this has been marked as served, probably because they can't find him. But if they ever do, the company's CEO, CZ, won't necessarily have to appear in person. However, he is legally required to respond to the summons once served. And per the document, once the summons is served, Binance and its CEO will then have 21 days to respond. If you fail to respond, judgment by default will be entered against you for the relief demanded in the complaint. Make sure you click subscribe if you want to stay up to date on this, because crypto will survive, but self-custody has never been more important. Just in, Binance US announces a plan to delist over 100 plus trading pairs, mainly with Tether, and has paused OTC trading. Now the biggest silver lining in all of this.
Real quick, Trillions Capital just said, yep, in the document it says they want a 100-year sentence. What? For CZ? And they will get it. CZ has the net worth of $26 million. You don't get that from running a legit exchange, really. Oh, 26 billion? He has $26 billion. Jeez.
Is that crypto is not going away, and the SEC crackdown on Binance and Coinbase surged DeFi trading volumes over 444%. My brother and I are speaking at the Web3 Gaming X.
All right, don't care. Shout out to Altcoin Daily, but that's nuts. And you know what's funny? Thinking about like the whole thing with like FTX, right? And how Binance kind of caused that, like shot Sam Bankman-Fried in the foot a little bit. It I don't know. It kind of makes you think, right? Like, why would you do that? You knew they were going to come after you next. You opened the floodgates to you put yourself in the line of fire with the SEC, at least in my opinion. That's kind of crazy. But that was a good video from Altcoin Daily, actually. Very shocked that it was that good. All right, let me see if there's anything else that we could talk about briefly before we get out of here. A few things I have to do today. Let's see. SEC's crypto action surged 183% in 6 months after the FTX collapse. Let's see what this is about. The regulator stepped up enforcement actions in the crypto space following the revelations around FTX. I don't even know why I just like stumbled on that. Cryptocurrency related enforcement actions undertaken by the United States security regulator significantly increased in the 6 months following the bankruptcy of cryptocurrency exchange FTX. An analysis of press release from the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commissions, the SEC, and news reports on its actions found that in the 6 months preceding FTX's collapse, the SEC undertook approximately 6 enforcement actions. In the 6 months after FTX's bankruptcy on November 11th, 2022, SEC crypto-related enforcement actions jumped to at least 17, an estimated increase of 183% from the preceding period. The number of crypto-related SEC enforcement actions, this is like a list or like a chart, if you would. Interesting. I am not sure I understand this. Well, hopefully you guys do. The analysis doesn't account for the two recent lawsuits the SEC just brought against Binance on June 5th and Coinbase a day later. The increased actions include the recent ones taken against the two exchanges led to some observers suggesting the SEC is attempting to redeem itself for failing to police FTX. And that's I said this the other day. It's exactly what I said the other day. Gary's trying to cover his ass because he fucked up with FTX. That's exactly what I said. That's funny as hell. I mean, it's totally true though. I really think it's true because he met with Sam Bankman-Fried multiple times over that course of whatever, FTX, the whole scam. Market Watch reported that the U.S. Representative French Hill said the recent crackdown was a cover your ass in quotations move from the regulator and the SEC chair Gary Gensler while speaking at an event in Washington, D.C. on June 7th. Dude, that's a riot. That's so funny. Let's see. Hill claimed that instead of Gensler overseeing FTX, the SEC head was instead out bashing Kim Kardashian because she promoted crypto on some Super Bowl ad, adding in quotations, says Gensler opened up this year in 2023 with all these enforcement actions. I think it looks like cover your ass to me. Wow. Marcus Thielen, the head of research and strategy at Matrixport and author of the book Crypto Titans, How Trillions Were Made and Billions Lost in the Cryptocurrency Markets, previously told Cointelegraph he believes there is an air of embarrassment in quotations for those who didn't catch the issues at FTX. Wow, that's crazy. No shit. Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse echoed the sentiment, claiming in a June 6th tweet that the SEC is throwing lawsuits at the wall and hoping they distract from the agency's FTX debacle. And that's, dude, it's so true. It is so freaking true. Wow, this is a good article, actually. I'm gonna put this in the description. That is I'm pretty positive this is on point. Shout out to this guy, Jesse Coughlin, if that's how you say that. Man, that was that's really good, actually. That's funny. No shit. What do you guys think? I think that was like a perfect little article, and that's 100% what's happening, at least in my opinion. I don't know, whatever. Anyways, all right, guys, hopefully you guys are gonna have a good day. I'll be back later on today. Hopefully at some point we will see. A few things I have to do. Man, I gotta do brakes. I gotta take apart my truck. I'm not happy about it. I don't want to do it, but I have to. My freaking caliper seized on my driver's side in my truck, and yeah, I gotta do pads on the other one, so it kind of sucks. Not gonna be able to do them both today, but we got to do something. All right, let's see. Trillion Capital real quick said CZ is currently hiding in Malta Island. Sigma Research of Binance is Alameda equivalent of FTX. Ooh, that's funny. That's kind of weird, actually, to think about it like that. That's neat. No auto repair, not here. Mr. King, I need to see if I have my friggin' tri stands here, so I can put my truck up on a jack and just kind of let it chill for a bit. So I gotta get my buddy has the caliper, he's gonna bring it by. Oh man, it's just gonna be sucky. Just frozen, you know what I mean? It's one of those days where you like don't want to do it and it's raining for the next like 3 days. It's gonna be terrible. Let's see. Chump and dump. What are you saying, condiments? Leo Lustig is what it is. Appreciate it, man. Keep strong, buddy. Keep in touch. Let me see. Where is he going? Is he leaving? Leo Lustig. I don't know what you're responding to, Mr. Chadwicks. Sorry, Chris Hanley, rather. Oh, something's wrong, Chris. Sorry to hear, bro. I just found out. It's attack. Whoa, what's going on with you, man? Chris Hanley, you all right? Hopefully everything's good, man. If you need anything, please reach out. Sorry, I'm just trying to catch up on chat, and I didn't see any of that. But anyways, guys, I appreciate you all. You guys are all awesome. Hopefully you guys have a good Thursday, and yeah, I'll see you guys later on this afternoon. So stay tuned for that. Have a good day, guys. Peace out. Smash that like on the way out. I'll see ya.